So most people look at One North and think, very nice area, very quiet, very 鸟不生蛋. A lot of officers, so basically a dead town after 6 PM. But here's the real question. What if this dead town is exactly where Singapore is building its future? And if you think about it, the real opportunity is not buying what's already obvious. It's positioning yourself before the market fully understands the story. So we are at Hudson Place showroom right now. So before we further talk about the floor plan of Hudson Place, we'll go through the ease of exit in One North area. So what is the real driver in the One North area? If you actually follow the news, Singapore has already committed $37 billion into R&D under the RIE 2030 plan. And what RIE stands for is Research, Innovation and Enterprise. So this isn't just funding, it's basically a signal of where the future industries will be at and where are the future jobs that will be flooding into. And these are being intentionally built. So why One North specifically? One North is not a random area that the government is choosing. It's already home to biotech at Mediapolis, and there's tech at Fusionopolis and also startups at Launchpad at One North. And now with Kampong AI coming in, it's been positioned as Singapore's AI nucleus. So what we are looking for is actually not hype, we are looking for causation. So in terms of causation, what I mean by that, stage 1, government will commit to capital. Stage 2, companies will follow through. After that, jobs are being created in stage 3, followed by talents start flowing in. And what that means is that you will definitely need housing. And when that happens, housing demand increases. And right now, we are actually at the stage between stage 2 and stage 3, which is companies follows and jobs are being created. Alright, let's talk about the master plan right now. If you actually go into URA website and look at the master plan itself, back in 2019, Mediapolis was mostly commercial. And fast forward to today, we are now seeing residential with commercial components, mixed-use developments, and of course lifestyle integration. So to be precise, around 5,000 new private homes over the next 10 to 15 years. So this is no longer just a workplace area, but this is becoming a township. But here's the layer that most people miss, and this is especially important for families. Right beside One North, you have the entire Dover education belt, and this includes NUS, Singapore Polytechnic, and INSEAD. And a strong cluster of schools in the surrounding region, and this is where the narrative actually shifts, because now it's not just about investors or tenants anymore. For families planning to stay for a long term, this becomes very attractive. And why? Because you're buying into an education ecosystem. Think about it, your child grows up near top institution, exposure to academic environment from young, shorter commute to schools and enrichment, and access to future pathways all within the proximity. And this is something that cannot be easily replicated. It's not just for convenience, but it's a long-term lifestyle positioning. And now, here's something most people completely miss, and this is where it gets very interesting. With the recent sale at Dover Drive GLS, the estimated break-even is already around $2,756 PSF. And now if you understand how developers price, typically developer will aim for 30 to 40% profit margin, so even if they are being nice, taking just 15% profit margin, when you do the math, the expected launch price comes up to around $3,100 per square foot. And here's the key insight. That's about $600 per square foot higher than where Hudson Place is expected to come in. Which means Hudson Place is not just cheaper for no reason, it is sitting below the next wave of pricing that is coming into the same area. And this is very important for your downside protection, because when future projects start launching at higher prices, they don't just compete with you, they actually support your price. So when we talk about Hudson Place, the real question is not just is it near to MRT, is it new? It's this, does it sit within demand drivers? Because Hudson Place sits at the intersection of One North job cluster, Mediapolis transformation, the Dover education belt. And this creates something very powerful, dual demand profile. On one side, tenants from One North, on the other, families who want to stay long term for education and lifestyle. And this second group tends to be more stable, less price sensitive, and more emotionally anchored. But let's keep this objective. This is not guaranteed. There are real considerations such as AI may reduce some jobs and ramping up take time, and not all projects benefit equally. So again, the opportunity is not buy anything near One North, but it's selecting through proximity, right project positioning, and sustainable entry price. We are not trying to predict the market here, we are positioning ahead of structural demands and long-term lifestyle value. So we are done here, let's move on to the floor plan right now. We are at the 2-bed plus study currently, and this is the balcony area. This balcony area is actually sizable enough to fit in a 4-seater dining table. Currently we are at the living and dining. As you can see, right, the wall-to-wall distance is actually very comfortable. And over here you probably can put in a 3-seater sofa easily. Okay, moving further into the dining area right behind me, as you can see how it's set up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably even 6-seater is possible. So something interesting that I want to point out, right? This unit actually can be converted into a dual key, and what I mean by that is that if you enclose this exit itself and have a door over here, this will be your main entrance to your masters, and coming out into here. Okay, so this will be the opening for the second bedroom, where you actually have a common space of the kitchen over here. And another thing that I actually like about this, right, it actually allows you to enclose the kitchen over here. Not a lot of 2-bed plus study allows you to do that, but you need a very good ventilation. So here we are at the 3-bedroom plus study. And one of my favorite thing, right, is that this structure over here, right in behind the dining table itself, can be hacked. And what I will do, right, behind here is actually a kitchen. You can reconstruct it into a long island, and then after that plus some glass to allow more light to flow through. So it's very customizable over here. So the next pros about this layout itself, inside over here is the master bedroom. As you can see, there's a difference in terms of the floor tiles over here. What the developers are actually letting you to imagine is that the actual study room is over here. You can use it as a study, or if not, you can push your entrance all the way out, and this can be your walk-in wardrobe. Alright, so here we are right now at 4-bedroom plus flexi. You can see the space is actually huge. You have a flexi wall over here. By right on the floor plan, you can hack this. It's highly configurable. You can hack this. You can hack this, so you have a huge amount of space to customize. Another thing I forgot to point out is that actually landscape layout is one of the most customizable layout. Even if there's a lot of things you can't hack, right? There's a lot of things you can actually shift around, like greater distance for dining area or greater distance from wall to wall between your sofa and your TV. Super customizable, and this is a landscape layout. And the next pros about this layout itself, you have this bedroom, right? It's not exactly a junior master, but it acts like a junior master. You have an opening over here, a Jack and Jill toilet, where you actually can enter from the toilet here in this bedroom. But the only one con is that this bedroom floor itself outside is an aircon latch, and based on BCA ruling, right, you can't have a full floor to ceiling height window, so you definitely will have a half window. That's the only bad thing. So here's what I'll do for you. If you are considering Hudson Place, I'll break down for you whether the pricing truly makes sense, which stacks to avoid, and how does Hudson Place compares against the upcoming launches. And if you found this useful, do remember to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I don't just show you property, I'll show you how to think about property. So as always, representing your greatest asset to your greatest benefit, this is David, signing off.